In this lecture, we are going to study the useRef hook. The useRef hook is used to access a DOM element directly within the functional component. And it can also be used to store a mutable value that does not cause a re-render when it is updated. So, in addition, useRef hook allows you to persist value between renders. Let's go ahead to exemplify it. So, the intention of this example is to focus the cursor right in the input field when the page loads. Take for example, you are creating a registration form. We want to focus the cursor right in the first input field when the page loads. So quickly create a new package called useRef practice. And I hope you love the way I'm organizing the lectures. Within the useRef practice, let's create a new component called focus input. Right within the UI, let's create an input field. The type equal test. Close it up with the soft closing tag. Quickly render this component in the app.js. Import focus input from this guy. And here we have to render focus input. Let's see what happens on the browser. And here's the input field. Let me zoom up a little bit. Perfect. Back to VS Code. Focus input component. The next in line is to implement component did mount functionality. First, we have to import the use effect. Let's quickly invoke it right here. It takes in an arrow function as its first argument, and as well, it takes in a dependency array. But in this case, we are going to leave it empty because we want the effect to get fired up once. So there's no need to specify a dependency variable. Okay? So let's proceed with the useRef. At the top, we have to import the useRef. Let's call it right here. Don't worry, you will definitely get the gist. Just follow along. And of course, we want it to take null. And now let's assign it to a variable called inputRef. Haven't created the ref, the next in line is to make use of it. And then we have to make use of it right within the input tag. And the way we can use it is to specify the ref attribute. We have to call the variable inputRef. It's as simple as that. So finally, we have to invoke the focus function on the input element right in the use effect. So right here, let's invoke the focus function. And I'm going to do inputRef dot current dot focus. Just like this. So with this, React is setting the ref current property to the corresponding DOM node. Let's see what happens on the browser. Can you see? So when the component mounts, the mouse will focus on the input field. And this implementation is very helpful when you are creating a registration form and you want the first input field on the registration form to be focused on when the page loads. You can see it clearly. Do you see the cursor right inside the input field? But when we take off the ref, so let's place a comment on this. Can you see? Nothing is found in the input field. So the input field do not have focus. But when you implement the ref on the browser, take a look. Reload. Can you see? The input field is focused on. So this exactly is what the useRef can help you achieve.